shipped from the other side of the world with no packing in the box at all, just been bouncing and smashing around as it travelled across the planet. Does this look familiar to anyone? Comes with this, comes with this, comes with the blade sharpeners, and it feels quite good. Surprisingly so, although the rubberized overmolding is a bit rigid feeling. You know how the rigid tools, it just feels like crap? Yeah, so it's not quite as nice as some of the higher end tools. But I tell you what, these knockoffs are getting much more sophisticated, much nicer, much closer to the originals. Haven't seen this on any of them yet, so we're moving up in the world. Wow, that's one way to look at it. If you're interested in buying one of these, there is a link down in the description. It even sounds pretty good. I think we need to go test this before we go any further and talk about it anymore. I think we'll go and give it a thrashing and see how she behaves. It also comes with, I know someone's going to be saying, take the battery off. It also comes with the full size blades. Both my Makita brushed and brushless planers never came with that. So they only came with those little thin buggers that shatter quite easily. So these are the resharpenable ones, which is quite impressive. So we'll go test it. I don't have the brushed version anymore. After getting the brushless Makita, I sold it. So we can only compare it to the brushless one, which is going to be a bit unfair on this, but I roughly remember how my 18 volt Makita brushed one was, and we do have video footage of it to compare if we need to. So anyway, let's go and use this thing. Just looked at the blades and I haven't even used it yet, and they look blunt as buggery. I've got it set on 0 and I reckon it's still going to cut, judging by the looks of it, so we'll just test that. So as you should have seen, even on 0, it is cutting. We'll now put it up to 0.5 millimeter. Not a very nice dial. Then again, the original Makita one's not great. So this board has quite a ridge on it here, so I'm going to crank it right up to 2 and we'll see how she copes with that. I've also pinned up the little foot on the back here. Doing pretty good so far. Two-inch wide treated pine, and we've got her on 2 millimeter depth. Unbelievable. There's a knot here. Still 4. Let's try the Makita. Brushless, I'm afraid. 2mm. Let's try this one on its full depth of 3mm. Well, she's getting pretty warm. While I was using it, I could feel the handle warming up quite a lot, and this metal piece here is quite hot. Still keep your hand on it, but it's pretty warm. And it's quite hot all over through this region, the motor. But I was pushing it a bit. I'm yeah, wow, I'm impressed. Makita, you should be worrying. Geez, the battery's quite hot. And let's have a look. Still on 3 bars. It's 5 amp hour. Was fully charged, of course, when I started. Haven't taken it off between any of the cuts I've done. I've left it on this till. Brushless Makita, not hot at all. Plastic still feels cool. Didn't use it as much as the other one. Still on 4 bars. Like I say, unfortunately I don't have the brushed version of the Makita anymore, but I tell you what, this feels pretty damn similar. Let's have a look at it up against the brushed version. Wow, this is quite interesting. This is VIDS, a hardwood from the Solomon Islands, and as you can see it is rough sawn here as it has gone through a thicknesser and skipped this whole middle section as it wasn't thick enough. So I'm gonna just go over this. It's 3 inches wide dressed, so it's about 65 mil. And let's see how nice we can bring that up. This will see how good those blades actually are, whether they've got any nicks and chunks out of them. No pissing about, we're just going straight to 2 mil. Well, that's pretty darn good, especially with all those ripples that were in that bit of timber. See some lines there from the blade having a few little nicks out of it. Very small, I can barely even feel them. I don't know if I even can feel them. Pretty good. After a performance like that, we just have to have a look at the inside of this thing. So that's what we'll do. It's amazing how well this thing is done. Wow, look at that. That's not even one of those cheap belts you get on the old interwebs. That is a pretty good belt. Not one of those really crappy, clear, orangey, plasticky things with no fibre in them that just crack and fall apart in a few weeks. That's good and solid. Good start. The biggest difference with this tool over so many of the other Banggood knockoff AliExpress type tools is the finish of it. This is a nice looking tool. It doesn't have all the jagged edges. It doesn't have the bit where it looks like they've had a go at it afterwards with a sander or an angle grinder or anything. It's actually got, look, these little bumpers here that help hold the battery on properly like a proper Makita has. The over molding isn't all missing and frayed, and it's all nice along the join there. The clamshell has all come together nicely on the two parts. There isn't any rough looking areas. It's a really nice looking tool. This piece here all looks good. The base looks nicer than the base on this new brushless model. Very surprising. It's got a much nicer finish on here. It's all just so surprisingly good. So, it kind of makes you wonder. You do have to think, hey Makita, so why the and America could just and Makita, and then and Kim Jong-un. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know down in the comments below. Probably wouldn't take off really, would it? But we could give it a go. So let me know what you think. I had quite a number of people ask me to review this one, and when I saw it I thought, oh yeah, I've got to give that a go. So as you can see, as per usual with these tools, pretty basic. Got the red and black wires here coming off the battery terminals, which go straight to the switch, and then down a black and a blue wire into the brushes for the motor. Pretty basic. Now how do we get into the next bit? Will this tool ever work again? Time will tell. I will of course have to now take the brushes out, damn it. We'll have a look at the brushes, see if they're any good. The armature here has quite a few balancing marks on it. 5 different places there. The commutator bars look quite nice. The way that these wires are affixed is not the greatest looking. It's not bad though, eh? For the price, it's pretty good looking motor. I've seen much worse, that's for sure. As for the planer head, it looks pretty good. It doesn't look too dissimilar to a Makita one. It's also got a balancing mark on it, a couple of balancing marks on the end. This is a really nice clamshell, and it's solid. That is rigid as. Can't even flex that. That is a well designed, well copied, shall we say, clamshell and mould. So very impressive. Stator in there looks all good. Nice big magnets in there. We'll take those brushes out and have a look, see what sort of quality they are. This is held in with just a couple of very crappy looking screws. Speed wise, who knows what this does, because you can never trust the numbers that they give you on these particular tools. But if I do remember correctly, the genuine brushed version is 15,000 RPM, whereas the brushless is 12,000. So This one, I'm guessing they were aiming for around the 15,000. It certainly feels, well, it feels the same as the old Makita, basically. Well, these brushes aren't the super soft, cheap, shitty carbon affair that you normally find in knockoff crappy tools. It's actually pretty good. I think they'd last a fairly decent while. They are not as good as modern tool brushes, but they're pretty good. And if these are the same as the Makita ones anyway, you could replace, just use a Makita part number brush. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy with the insides of that tool. It's a bit weird using this thing. But what I've gone and done there is put the brushes back in without putting the armature and everything back in, so I'm going to have to pull that apart again. Why aren't you going in, you bugger? That bearing there, I'd say. That's the other one's going in. Come on, you bugger. Come on. I think she's going. Voila! Sweet as nanas. I'm glad tools don't have brushes anymore. Bit fiddly sometimes getting these little bastards back in. And occasionally they break on you. And these little caps, even on the good tools, are often made out of really shitty plastic that seems to break down over time with the heat coming through the brushes, and they just sort of disintegrate. You go to take them out and they just sort of crumble. So that's one good thing about the new brushless tools. No having to piss around like this trying to hold brushes in place while you get the caps on so they stay in line, because that one's just popped out and stuffed itself. It was one of the easier tools to pull apart and put back together of the ones I've done. But I'm not so sure about that Milwaukee driver. It's a bit weird. It keeps sounding like you're stripping the heads when you're not, and does strange things. What have we got left? Just this cover here. And then will it still work? Fingers crossed. She's still a goer. Well, that is, I'm gonna say it, the best knockoff tool I have seen thus far. That is far superior to, say, this, and shits all over the likes of the chainsaw and the impact driver and impact wrenches. This one is actually up to spec, basically. It looks the same, it feels the same, it performs the same as a genuine Makita. Not quite as good as this one, of course. This is the brushless version, but compared to a brushed one, I tell you what, Makita, you got some, you got some battles on your hand here. You need to take these guys out of play. Thanks for watching, guys. Maybe that's the last knockoff one. Surely there can't be too many more, can there? Can there? Yeah, no, I haven't done a rotary hammer drill yet, but I don't really... Well, maybe. Who knows what we'll do one day. They also do a nibbler. Who would have thought? A nibbler. You can get a knockoff nibbler. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Down in the description there will be more links to other videos I have done, and if you're interested in purchasing any of the tools you see in my videos like this, have a look down there as well. So taking that apart gave me another couple of ideas for videos, so that's good. Always helpful. And thanks for watching. I will see you on another one. If you haven't watched my channel before, have a look down below. There's much more reviews on these Banggood style Makita tools and many other genuine Makita tools, and as well as Milwaukee tools, DeWalt tools, Bosch tools, etc, etc, Hitachi, Hikoki, down in the description up in the corner. I will see you guys later.